See, got it. Now all the bigger spots are in. Sometimes to connect the farther places from others, we need little wires connection. So what I do, I always do it on the outside with little leftovers of any other wires, leftovers of the same cords. I peel the tips, put soldering on them, and then I'm gonna solder it into the switch because the switch comes with no wire, so that makes it easier for me to reach it. Once I put the switch on the front, that make it easier. Sometimes people don't think on that, and trying to solder those wires inside the skull is gonna be a pain in the trasero. So you see, that fits perfect. Now let's get the nut inside and hold it in place. Sometimes like pieces of metal like connectors and the fuse holder and things, they come like chrome like. Even your fingerprints grease don't allow the soldering to get. So I pile a little bit. You always use the soldering flux for them. Just make sure you wipe everything because that rust. So anyway, you just put the soldering on it and get ready to go. And then you get the fuse. Don't forget to be the 117 volts, 1 amp or 2 amps fuse. And then I use the long nose pliers to tighten nuts inside because my hand cannot reach. And the capacitor and the rectifier, I always put them together outside. You see, negative with negative, positive with positive, because if you do backwards, it ain't work. And pre-solder everything outside. That saves you a lot of hassle trying to do it inside the skull. Okay, well, we find a spot for it so it's not in the way, far from other things, so don't make any short circuits or contact with other wires. And to reach parts with a flux, I use the same soldering wire. And the clippers, man, little twisters, they work so good holding wires to use the, because trying to hold with your fingers, man, you won't get your hand inside and you're gonna burn. And I use shrinking tubing for insulation. I don't like electric wire that come out with years. And then with a little bit of torch or a lighter, sometimes a little hit, you shrink it and insulate. Now the cord, make sure the grommet will be really, really tight, because that's going to be most of the pulling and the stretching of the cord, and it will need to be tight to hold it. See? And leave the tips ready to go and solder together. For shrinking tubing, again, lighter, and then with the tweezers and the soldering pen, that's the best thing you can do to hold the switch and put it together. And then for some of the wires, remember, you have to flux them, get the flux on them and solder them. No? Let's see. Alright, now it's on. Let's see, I have one of my old coin-made machines, and it seems working. Yep. Sometimes if you don't use the perfect transformer, it have to be 12 volts or 18 volts or more, because if you use more, sometimes amps also, if you use more than 1 amp, it will spark glue on your machine, and you don't want that. Make sure it's just the proper power. Well, it did work. Now you have a decoration on your desk and also a power supply useful for tattooing, and it will last forever as long as you don't burn it. And this is my son's power supply. You can be creative, you can use any lunch boxes, any kind of a figures. As you see, it's pretty much the same with the switch, and inside it is the same old circuit from back in the 30s. You see, it has the switch on the top, the indicator light on the side, and then it has the fuse on the outside, and the transformer 12 volts, 18 volts, and then you have the capacitor with a rectifier together, and the rheostat 35 ohms, ceramic made. And you see, this is another power supply. I have some lunch boxes for kids, and they work. You see the phone jacks, the fuse, those two screws on the center are holding the transformer, got the rheostat on top, and the the switch right on the ear. And like I show you again, you will see inside, and it's pretty much the same circuit over and over, the same parts. And then I got a little more like this one. It's cast pewter with the rheostat on the back, the foam plugs on the sides. This is about 20 years old power supply that I've been using for a long time and it still works. It's my pride and joy, man. It's one of the most beautiful power supplies I ever built. And how you get all the stuff inside? I did the same thing, cutting the hole in the bottom. That's the only way you can get your stuff in. Alright? Well, I hope this worked for you guys. Thank you.